Imagine this. You're 17 years old, camping deep in the woods of Maine with your significant other. It's 1982, a time before cell phones, when the quiet of the forest was truly absolute. You're miles from the nearest town, surrounded by nothing but towering trees and the gentle sounds of nature. The two of you are tucked away in your small tent, feeling safe and isolated from the rest of the world. It's the perfect romantic getaway. Or so you think. Around 1 a.m, something wakes you up. It's a strange noise, a rhythmic scraping sound coming from just outside the thin fabric of your tent. It sounds like digging. Your heart starts to beat a little faster. You nudge your boyfriend awake and whisper for him to be quiet. The sound continues, steady and persistent. Who would be out here, in the middle of nowhere, digging at this hour? Your mind races through the possibilities. An animal? A raccoon or a skunk, maybe? But the sound is too deliberate, too focused. Gathering all your courage, you slowly, quietly unzip the tent flap just a crack, just enough to peek outside. What you see makes the blood freeze in your veins. Just a few feet away, illuminated by the pale moonlight, a woman is on her hands and knees, digging frantically in the dirt. Her movements are jerky and desperate, like a creature possessed. She's not using a shovel, just her bare hands, tearing at the earth with a feverish intensity. You can't make out her face clearly, but her silhouette is unsettling. She seems completely oblivious to your presence, consumed by her bizarre task. Your boyfriend, now wide awake and just as terrified as you are, grabs a flashlight. He fumbles with it for a moment, his hands shaking, before a bright beam cuts through the darkness and lands directly on the woman. She freezes instantly, her head snapping up. The light catches her face, and what you see is a blank, emotionless stare. Her eyes are wide, but they seem to look right through you, as if you're not even there. There's no anger, no surprise, just an eerie, vacant expression. She holds your gaze for a long, silent moment that feels like an eternity. Then, without a word, she slowly gets to her feet, turns, and walks away, disappearing back into the impenetrable darkness of the woods. The two of you sit there in stunned silence, hearts pounding in your chests. What just happened? Who was that woman? After a few minutes of trying to process the sheer strangeness of it all, you cautiously climb out of the tent. You creep over to the spot where she was digging. There's a small, shallow hole, maybe 4 to 6 inches deep, but nothing else. No tools, no footprints you can make out in the dark, nothing to explain what you just witnessed. You try to rationalize it. Maybe she was disoriented, lost, or having some kind of episode. Convinced she's gone for good and won't be coming back, you try to shake it off. It was weird, yes, but probably just a one-time encounter. Exhausted and still a bit on edge, you crawl back into your tent, zip it up tight, and try to go back to sleep. You tell yourselves everything is fine. But it isn't. The real nightmare is only just beginning. Just as you start to drift off, you hear it again. This time, it's not digging. It's the sound of someone running. Running fast, straight toward your campsite. The thudding footsteps grow louder and louder, closer and closer. Before you can even react, you hear a loud crash, followed by the sound of your belongings being thrown around. The woman is back. You burst out of the tent to find her ransacking your campsite. She's not stealing anything. Instead, she's grabbing your gear, your cooler, your cooking pots, your bags, and flinging them wildly behind her, scattering them everywhere. Her movements are even more frantic now, more animalistic. She moves with a chaotic, savage energy, like a wild beast tearing through your camp. "Hey, what are you doing?" Your boyfriend yells, his voice trembling but firm. The woman stops again, turns, and gives you that same hollow, unnerving stare. Once again, she says nothing. She just turns and walks back into the woods, vanishing as quickly as she appeared. Shaken but now angry, you start gathering your scattered things. This has gone from strange to genuinely terrifying. This person is clearly not well, and her presence is becoming a direct threat. You decide there's no way you're going back into that tent. Not yet, but as soon as you step back toward the tent to maybe grab a blanket, you hear it again, the sound of running. Incredibly, she comes charging out of the woods the second you move toward the tent. It's as if she's watching you, waiting for the exact moment you let your guard down. This time, she goes right back to the original spot and starts digging again, her hands clawing at the dirt with renewed, desperate vigor. You shout at her again, and again she stops, stares, and retreats into the forest. A horrifying pattern begins to emerge. Every time you try to go back to the safety of your tent, she immediately runs back into the camp. Sometimes she would go for your gear. Other times she would go straight for the hole. Each time her digging becomes more frenzied, more feral. She's breathing heavily, grunting with effort, her entire body shaking with the force of her actions. You realize with a chilling certainty that she is not going to leave you alone. She's been hiding in the dark, just beyond the reach of your campfire's light, silently observing your every move. She's waiting for you to go back inside so she can continue her obsessive task. The woods, which once felt peaceful, now feel alive with a menacing presence. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig, sends a fresh wave of fear through you. There's no choice. You can't go back in the tent, and you can't abandon your camp in the middle of the night. You build up the fire, light every lantern you have, and grab your flashlights. You spend the next several hours standing guard, two terrified teenagers trying to create a small island of light in an ocean of darkness, hoping to keep this wild woman at bay. You shine your flashlights into the woods, trying to catch a glimpse of her, but you see nothing. Still, you can feel her presence. You know she's out there, watching. The hours crawl by. The adrenaline starts to wear off, replaced by a bone-deep exhaustion. Around 3:30 in the morning, you can't stay awake any longer. You're so tired you can barely stand. Against your better judgment, you both finally collapse into sleep right there by the fire, too drained to keep watch. When the sun finally rises, you wake up to a scene of complete devastation. Your entire campsite has been utterly ransacked. Your food is strewn across the ground. Your clothes are pulled from your bags and scattered. Your tent has been knocked over. It looks like a hurricane passed through. And the hole she was digging is now over a foot deep. It's a significant pit, dug with nothing but bare hands. But just like before, there's nothing in it. And incredibly, despite the chaos, not a single item has been stolen. The terrifying realization washes over you. All those hours you stood guard, she was right there, just out of sight, patiently waiting in the darkness. The moment you fell asleep, she returned and spent the rest of the night, continuing her frantic, pointless work. She wasn't trying to rob you or hurt you. She was obsessed with that one spot of ground, driven by a compulsion that made her act like a creature of the wild. You pack up what's left of your belongings as fast as you can, your hands still shaking. You practically run to the park ranger's station and tell him the whole story. He listens, his expression growing more and more concerned, but he has no answers. He's never heard of anything like it. There are no reports of a missing person matching her description, no local legends that could explain her behavior. You leave that forest immediately and never go back. To this day, the mystery remains completely unsolved. Who was that woman? Was she suffering from a mental breakdown? Or was something more sinister at play? What was she so desperately searching for in that patch of Maine dirt? It's a chilling reminder that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones we can't understand, and the deepest, darkest woods hold secrets we may never uncover. Thanks for watching, and if you have any theories about what happened that night, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more unexplained mysteries.